would like to highlight for this sermon within the passage of Haggai. At the 6th verse, thus says the Lord of hosts, once more, it is a little while. I will shake heaven and earth, sea, dry land, and I will shake all nations. They shall come to the desire of all nations, and I will fill this temple with glory, says the Lord of hosts. I want to tag this morning for this sermon, shake me to make me. Shake me to make me. Almost 10 years ago, I came from this same passage. 10 years ago, when we were an infant church, this passage, because we needed to know that God could fill us as his temple. And today, when I think of this passage, and I think of God shaking us, we can look at life and realize that God is still shaking us. And he's shaking us to make us. Anybody knows anything about me, I love all natural stuff, especially when I can afford it. I love Smoothie King, and I can drink a smoothie every day. I like all natural juices, and my favorite all natural juice is organic apple juice. And when I can afford to buy it from Whole Foods, I can get it when I want it. My first time getting organic apple juice was a unique experience for me. See, when I grabbed the bottle off the shelf, I noticed a thick brown substance at the bottom of the bottle. And I put that bottle down and I picked up another thinking something was wrong. And the next bottle I picked up still had a thick brown substance at the bottom of it. I kept looking at the bottles, and all the bottles had a thick brown substance at the bottom of them. So I asked a grocery clerk exactly what was this thick brown substance at the bottom of the bottle. She explained to me that it was the pulp from the apples that actually makes the juice. And went on to say to me to get the most out of the juice and get the best taste and the best flavor, all I had to do when I got home was shake it up and then pour it into a glass. But she did not stop there. She said, when you want to have a real good taste, shake it hard and long, and the juice will taste even better. And it was when that happened, I began to shake it and shake it and shake it. And I noticed that the thick brown substance at the bottom, it mixed with the liquid on the top. And there was a coming together of the two ingredients in one container at which the bottom mixed to the top. And I just wanted to know what would happen if I shook it through the process. And so when I tasted it, it tastes so good. And I came to let somebody know that the shaking process, God has to take the stuff that's down on the inside of you and help it to mix with the stuff that he's dealing with you through so that you can be better. God has to take you through in order for us to become the church, the cities, and the communities that God intends for us to be. How I wish I could tell you that you can go through life from the cradle to the grave on flowery beds of ease, with no crosses to bear and no battles to fight. But the truth of the matter, that if God is going to do anything with you, if God is going to make anything out of you, if you're really serious about moving forward in faith and becoming who God wants you to be in excellence, there's a shaking process that God has to take you get through. Do I have a witness in here? In our text, the Jewish community had returned from Babylon to Jerusalem. And upon their return, they found the city much different from the one they left. They were taken into captivity, and now they're back in their home city, and nothing remains of the glorious city. Jerusalem now lays in ruins, overcome by great despair and discouragement and dismay. These former exiles undertake a major redevelopment community project. They begin to build their community, but they build the banks, the hotels, the businesses. They began to build the school and the hospital. They were so busy building business and their homes that they neglected to build the temple. 16 years after their return to Jerusalem, God's temple still lay in ruin. While they lived in their nice houses, they said, we'll take care of our own personal affairs before we can build God's house. Can you imagine being in a community, especially for those of us who love to come to church, being in a community for 16 years and you don't have a church to go to? Could you imagine what it would be like if we had no spiritual center in the community for 16 years? You think there's some shootings going on in Walmart and other places, but can you imagine if we had nowhere to run when we needed to call on the name of the Lord? They neglected the spiritual for the material, and the spiritual neglect caused a material drought, a material bankruptcy in the community. Look at the first chapter of Haggai. It says that they were working hard, but little to show for it. They never had enough food to eat, enough water to drink. Their clothes did not keep them warm in the winter nor cool in the summer. It's there in the text. Their paychecks were spent before they ever received them. Whenever there's spiritual neglect, it will manifest itself in the material. The Lord said, Haggai. Oh, I know church folk don't like to hear that, because we like to name it and claim it, blab it and grab it, and come to us right now and have all the material things. But sometimes we have to know that we have to put the spiritual world in front of the material stuff, and all these things will be added unto you. Do I have a witness in here? Somebody who can testify that said, I decided to pay my tithe before I did anything else, and somehow the Lord allowed my money to stretch for the rest of the month. I decided to trust God in what I had, and God took me higher in what I needed. The Lord said, Haggai, he said, Haggai to say to them that they need to get to the hill country, and they needed to get some timber wood and build the house of God, and they could praise God and glorify his name. Now, Haggai is an unknown prophet with no pulpit position and no prophetic portfolio. He had the shortest ministry of any prophet in the Old Testament. He only preached 4 sermons in a matter of 4 months. God had sent Haggai into the community to remind these exiles, this exiled people, that all they were going through, that was happening to them, was greatly because they neglected to build God's house while they lived in bright mansions above. All these things they were experiencing and going through because they neglected the temple. The text says that Zerubbabel, Joshua, and all the people responded to the message of Haggai, and they began to build God's house. They listened to the message of the prophet, and they began to build the house of God. How I wish people were like that today. That they would heed the word of the Lord, no matter where the word comes from, and follow God's direction. Now, the significance of this is that Zerubbabel was the governor and Joshua was the priest. That means the political leadership obeyed God, and the religious leadership obeyed God. And as a result, all the people obeyed God. I need to hear something from the White House that condemns shootings and guns, but I'm not hearing it yet because the political leadership hadn't got with the religious leadership to know what God wants done. Oh my. As a result, all the people obeyed God. What a novel idea. All the people obeyed God. They were encouraged to work by the prophet who let them know that God promised to be with them in the work. Now they had been working on the temple for about 30 days. The foundation of the temple had been laid. And all of a sudden, a conflict arose in the community. There was a problem in the community once the foundation had been laid. On one hand, there were those who rejoiced at the sight of the foundation and at the progress of the work thus far. But on the other hand, there were those of them who began to weep, wail, and cry and complain at the sight of the foundation. It was so boisterous. God had to send Haggai into the community. And on his second sermon, Haggai addresses those who were crying and complaining first. He says, "Who is there among you who saw this temple in its former glory? And how do you see it now?" Now, that lets us know right there that there was a conflict between old church folk and young church folk. There was a conflict of that which had been and that which was about to become. How do we know? Because Ezra in the 3rd chapter lets us know those who were supposed to work on the new temple were about 20 years old. And up to those who could remember Solomon's temple, which had been down for 68 years, were almost 70 years or so. They were 70 years and older. So this was a conflict between generations. The young folk had been working only for about 30 days when the old church folks said, "You know what? We had a temple that was better than the one you're building now. Our former church was better. Our church was built with cedar wood and lofty ceilings and marble floors. Our church was better." They were so impressed with the size of Solomon's temple and compared it to the temple of this new one that seemed like nothing in their eyes. We do that today, don't we? We think that if a church is big with 3 or 4 packed services, that the presence of God is automatically there. But you know what I've learned? I've learned the bigger is not necessarily better. And I've learned that just being big, it doesn't make you better. I've learned that you can have a great big church with the Lord's cry, but that doesn't mean that God is in that place. And I learned that you can have a little church with one struggling service, with a choir that sings off key, and a preacher that can barely preach, and the Holy Spirit will fill up that place. The Holy Spirit is no respecter of persons. God's Spirit goes where God wants it to go and does what God wants it to do. What was behind them was past and gone. What was before them was bright and good and needed to be encouraged. So this was a conflict between generations. The old church clinging to the past versus the new generation that was charging into the future. The older church folk complaining about the future to come, and the young folk insisting that it is our time now. The older folk saying, "We shall not be moved," and the young folk saying, "Get out of our way. Give us a chance. We only been working on this thing for 30 days. We have not received yet the right hand of fellowship. We have not even been baptized, or we haven't been through new members class. Just give us a chance." But in the church, we need the old and the new. It's not the old folks or the young folks alone that can build God's church. It's the old folks and the young folks working together that will build God's church. What was needed was the wisdom of the seasoned saints and the energy of the young saints. What was needed was the maturity of the age and the flexibility of the youth, the stability of the elder generation, and the possibilities of the young generation. Young people in here that hear my voice, whenever you meet somebody that's older than you, you need to listen to them and get close to them and learn from them and give them a chance. And when you come to some age in life and you're a senior saint, you should mentor somebody and encourage the young people. And every chance you get, you should encourage them along the way. It's not old folks and young folks alone who can build the church and the community or the family. It's the old and the young together that can build the church and the community and the family. In the church, we need the deacon and the elder. We need the church of men and women in ministry. We need a church where the drums and the pipe organ is played. We need a church where we sing hymns and praise songs. We need a church with the shout and the silence. We need a church of the liturgical dance and the holy days. We need the tithers and we need the offering. We need prayer meetings and support groups. In the church, we need new members and those that have been around. God said, I do not want a conflict in the church. I want my folk in one accord. Old and young working together. The Lord said to them, tell them, Haggai, I have to shake them up. So I'm getting ready to shake this thing up. I'm going to shake the heavens and I'm going to shake the earth. The sea and dry land. I'm getting ready to shake all nations. Shake the north and shake the south. Shake the east and the west, the left and the right, the top and the bottom. God shakes up every place, everybody, and everything. When God shakes things, nobody gets away. Nobody gets away. You can run, but you can't hide. God shakes the politicians and the professors. God shakes up the saints and the sinners and students. God can shake up dogs, cats, fish, and girls that don't get to talk. God shakes up the married and the widow, the single and the divorced. God shakes up the PhD, the MD, the JD, the GED, and the ones that ain't got a D. God can shake up the upper class, the middle class, the ones that ain't got no class. God can shake up the leaders, the missionaries, and the ministers. God shakes up the pulpit and the pew. God shakes up everybody and everything. Sometimes we think it's other folk. We think it's other things. Sometimes you're going through what you're going through because God is shaking you. Just look at your neighbor. Don't say nothing to your neighbor. Just look at your neighbor. God has a plan for your life. He wants to see you succeed. He wants to get the best out of you. So God is shaking you. God will shake you. There's a difference in God shaking you to get the church in you, and God shaking you to get you in the church. All you have been through, the heartaches, the heartbreaks, the pain, the missteps, the faults, the failures, that was God shaking you to get you in the church. But God says, I have to shake you up every now and then to get the church in you. Lord have mercy. God has to shake us because some of us have settled in the church and gotten comfortable in a building and not in the blessing. Gotten comfortable in position but not in purpose. You've gotten comfortable and God says, I have to shake you. I have to shake you. God shakes us to get us to unsettle ourselves even in the church. When I buy my juice, I have to shake it. I shake it. The harder I shake it, the thick brown substance at the bottom of the bottle mixes with the liquid on top. Sometimes I cannot drink it all in one setting. And so I'll put it back in the box for later. Even though the juice is safe in the refrigerator, insulated, being cooled in the refrigerator, being protected in the refrigerator, the pulp from the apples still will separate itself. And the liquid will settle yet again at the bottom of the bottle. And I have to shake it once to mix it up, and I have to keep shaking it if I don't want it to settle. God is shaking us so we will not settle. God is shaking us so we will not get settled on that job. God is shaking us so you won't get settled in that employment when he has a calling on your life. God is shaking us so we don't take love and life for granted. You might be wondering what's going on with you while God is shaking you. Somebody in here, you look good, you drove up in something nice, but God is shaking you. Think about it. Can't drop the attitude, God is shaking waking up saying God is shaking you. No self-esteem, no self-esteem. God is shaking you. Look at your life. Women spending all their time trying to get a man or trying to get rid of the one they got. Folks spending money to do something and to buy things that you don't need, to impress folk that don't even like you. Can I get an honest witness in this place? God shakes you. God shakes you. How do I know that it's God shaking you and not the devil? Because you're in church this Sunday morning. If it was the devil, you in church this Sunday morning, if it was the devil, you would not even be in here. But you're in here because there's some stuff that you've already been delivered from. And there's some stuff that God has already made a way for you. There's some stuff that God has already done for you. There's some doors that God has already opened for you. There's some bills that God has already paid. God has brought you through. So you ought to give him some praise. You ought to give him some praise. God has brought you through. So you ought to give him some praise. God has brought you through. If it was the devil, you would be somewhere other than church losing your mind. All of us would not be fit for service if God did not shake us. Be honest. Would you be in church today if it had not already brought you through? And make your faith real? In order for God to do what God needs to do in your life, God has to shake you. God shakes us because it's necessary. God shakes us to get the best out of us. God shakes us because sometimes we've settled. But I have a question. How long is God going to shake you? God is going to shake you until God gets out of you what God has put in you. Lord, help me in here. God is going to shake you until God gets out of you what God has put in you. Okay, it seems like when I need to go to Walmart, I'm always behind. I can't stand going to Walmart. I can't stand it. But I seem to always be behind that one person in line that has a problem when they get to the cash register. They decide they don't want the product or the price is not right or they need to call the manager. I don't know why it's always me. Maybe because I'm a patient person, but I've always taken note. It takes the most out of me to stand in line to check out at Walmart. I don't know about anybody else, but I have a struggle. But listen, I've learned and I've watched. And most times when they get to the cash register, that's when the cursing starts because they put their card in the debit credit machine. The cashier says it's declining. They would step back, look at the machine, try again. Maybe I had the wrong pen. The cashier declined. They'll try it again. 2 or 3 failed attempts. And then they start blaming Walmart. Walmart got this cheap thing and it don't work. And that's the reason why it's declining. That's what they're saying. And that's when the cursing starts. And I start praying right then and there. Jesus, Jesus. Let me tell you. They know the reason that it's declining because they don't have anything in the bank. And the computer runs the machine is smart enough to know that if you don't have anything in the bank, good God Almighty, you ain't getting nothing out. Come here, come here, come here. God can shake you because God knows what he's invested in you and put in you. And somebody said, I came in here to make a deposit into the spiritual bank and I need God to make a withdrawal on his investment. Come here, somebody, let me bless you. God is going to pull out of you what he's put in you. And you're going to need some substance to be shaken, shooken up. You're going to need something on the inside to shake up to the outside. And God is going to shake you and shake you and shake shakes us to help us and not hurt us. Since God shakes us to bless us and not break us. Since God shakes us to use us and not abuse us. Since God's shaking is God's way, you should stand on your feet in this place. You should stand up on your feet in this place. Tell your neighbor, excuse me, give me a little room. And raise your hand and hold your head back and open your mouth and say, shake me. Shake me, Lord. Shake me. Shake me, Lord. Shake me. Shake me, Lord. Shake me to a habit. Shake me to a purpose. Shake me to a best. Shake me to a succeed. Shake me to a achieve. Shake me. Shake me, Lord. Somebody holler. Shake me. Shake me, Lord. Because if it weren't for me, shake me. I tell the Lord today, for the making. He's preparing me. He's preparing me. He's preparing me for greater. Somebody ought to shake. 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 Shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. And say, shake me till you make me. Greater is coming. Greater is coming. I feel a shaking in the spirit. I feel a pressing in the spirit. Shake me. Shake me. Grab your neighbor. Grab your neighbor by the hand and say, neighbor, excuse me, but can I shake you for a moment? Because that's what God is doing in us. God is shaking us to make us, to make us. Look at somebody and tell them, greater is coming. I feel it. I can taste it. I can almost touch it. Shake me. Shake me, Lord. Shake me. You ought to thank him. You ought to thank him that you know why you've been shook all this time. He's shaking you to make you. He's shaking you to make you. He's shaking us as a church to make us. It took this time. This was the process of shaking. He said, I'm shaking you. He said, there's a way that I have to make you better. You're going to taste better and look better. Greater is coming. And that shaking is preparing you for greater. He's going to do it in your life. Shaking you to make you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Come on and give God.